Sonic Rumble was recently released globally. Wait, what? Yeah, after numerous delays, the game has finally been released for everybody to play. And just to set the record straight, I've always thought this game was pretty fun, and even with the global launch, I still think the game is very fun, and it's a good game to kinda turn your brain off and run a few rounds with friends. I think it could easily become one of my most played Sonic games if they keep up the support, and so far, there's been so much added to the game. Events, characters, crossovers, and new modes. They also recently added this skill system, further enhancing the customization of your character. The setup of the game itself is also very addictive with its competitive nature. If you don't win a match, you are always enticed to just try again and again. Oh yeah, and the soundtrack. The remixes are fantastic. Sonic Rumble is one of those games that you will always keep coming back to. And if you ask me, that is the best thing Rumble could be. And a lot of other people are having fun with the game as well. There's a lot here to enjoy for everyone, and I'm glad people are enjoying it. But there's a catch. Who am I kidding? There's always a catch. Microtransactions. Okay, I know, it's a free-to-play mobile game. Obviously, there's going to be in-game purchasable content. Duh. In Rumble, you can buy things like red rings and skill points with real money and exchange that currency for skins, skills, buddies, emotes, pretty much everything. It's pretty standard stuff that you would expect from a mobile game like this. But the problem with this game's microtransactions comes from the prices. I briefly touched on this in a video I made following the most recent delay of the game. I think that was like, what, back in May? Which, if you didn't already know, I am in the Sonic Rumble Creators Program, which I am very thankful for, and I have had access to this game for a while now. And when initially seeing these prices, I thought they were bad, yeah, but part of me thought they were temporary for some reason. But no, you still have to spend upwards of $50 to $60 to get one legendary skin. Yeah, like what the fuck? For comparison, let's use Sonic Dash, which remains as the most downloaded free-to-play Sonic mobile game. In that game, the most expensive skins cost $20, which, in all fairness, is still a very high asking price, but that's less than half of the amount they want you to spend in Rumble. That's how crazy it is. And that's not even mentioning the paid season passes, the event passes, and everything else that involves monetization. And then there's other issues such as them artificially limiting the amount of free stuff you can get per day, which again, is pretty standard for mobile games like this, but it's just that damn asking price. And because of all of this, this game has been getting very negative reviews. On Steam, the game's reviews are marked as very negative, with most of the people criticizing the prices of the items, bringing up how you could even buy a whole Sonic game for how much they're asking for per skin. And the crazy thing is that's not even an exaggeration. In fact, plenty of Sonic games on Steam cost way less than the price of a legendary skin in Sonic Rumble. Jeez, man. And on mobile, it's pretty similar. People are liking the game, but the prices in the shop are what's mostly catching people off guard. And honestly, I think if this is not fixed soon, I don't see Rumble being a very prosperous game years down the line. In fact, I already see a lot of parallels to Sonic Runners, which, if you didn't know, that game was also online, featured a ton of events and skins, but how you went about getting those skins involved a lot of gacha elements and high prices. And guess what? That game was taken offline only a year later. Now all we have left of that game is a fan-run revival and a shitty sequel that nobody cares or knows about. The prices were still lower than Rumble's, by the way. It honestly feels strange more than anything. I understand that they need some way to profit since it is a free game, but this feels more like greed. I really don't see any scenario where they need to have the prices this high to fund the game. That just does not seem possible to me. I also don't see how most people will look at these prices and say, yep, that's worth it, when even games like Fortnite only charge a fifth of this to get a good skin. There's no winner in this situation. Nobody benefits from this. So, how can this be fixed? Simple. Lower the prices. It's that easy. I want this game to succeed, and I want it to at least last longer than the 2 years we've been waiting for the game to release. But if these prices keep up, I don't see it lasting very long. You can keep people engaged with your game through events and new content, but if most of that content is locked behind a large paywall, then the game is naturally just going to lose interest. And I don't want that. I really like this game. I've been having a lot of fun with it since I've been able to play it, and I'm thankful that I've been given a lot of these skins for free through the creator program. But when I'm playing the game, game with these skins, I think to myself, how on earth is anybody going to buy this and think it's worth it? Again, I can't stress this enough. Do what you want with your own money. If you want to spend this much on skins, then by all means, go ahead. Don't let me or anyone else ruin your fun. This video is mainly aimed at the Sonic Rumble team and anybody else involved with the monetization decisions. And I'm sure they've already heard a lot of the feedback. Now, all I hope is that some actual change will be made. But that's all for me. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all later. Goodbye.